in this episode we will be looking at the discriminant. The discriminant is basically a tool that we use for the quadratic equation. It is simply right here, b squared minus 4ac, right here. And it is a tool that we use to discriminate between the roots, the type of roots we will get from a quadratic equation. And I have listed the outcomes right here. There are 4 outcomes that we could get from a discriminant when we input a quadratic equation into it. So the first outcome is when the discriminant is equal to a perfect square. When it is equal to a perfect square, then the roots, there will be two roots, and those 2 roots will either be integers or fractions. Then the next outcome is when the discriminant is more than 0. What am I talking about, more than 0? More than 0 means any number that is more than 0, it is positive. But in this case, it is not a perfect square. In the second outcome, not a perfect square. Not a perfect square, for example, is like 48, 27, 15. These numbers are not perfect squares. Perfect squares are like 49, or 9, or 25. So when the discriminant is more than 0, but not a perfect square, then there will be 2 roots as well. But this time, those roots will be irrational. That is the second outcome. The third outcome is when the discriminant is equal to 0. So when it is equal to 0, this will be known as a repeated root, and we will understand this discriminant and how we use it later on when I show you the examples. So this repeated root, this will mean it'll only have one root for the quadratic equation that has been inputted into the discriminant. It'll only have one root, and that root will be an integer. And the last outcome is when the discriminant is less than 0, meaning negative. Any negative number will result in 0 roots, in no roots at all.